all the introverts at the party say, hey. Yeah, that's what I thought, because we're not at the party, we're at home. I want to give a special shout out to all my fellow quiet time loving, I don't need more than 4 friends, let's go home introverts out there. There seems to be this big misconception in online business and freelancing and entrepreneurship that only extroverts can be successful, which is so not true. So in this video, I'm going to give you 5 freelance business ideas that are perfect for introverts. And yes, introversion is kind of a blanket term. Obviously, not all introverts are built the same, nor have the same level of introversion. But broadly speaking, the definition I liked the most was that unlike extroverts who recharge in the company of others, introverts recharge in solitude or in smaller group sizes. Verywellmind.com also says people who are introverted tend to be inward turning or focus more on internal thoughts, feelings, and moods rather than seeking out external stimulation. And while extroverts can do and thrive at any type of work, in this video we've picked out jobs essentially where your income won't depend on having to socialize with a lot of people and or talk to a ton of strangers. I also do have to add that my inner introvert has never thrived as much as when I started working from home and I didn't have to make awkward water cooler talks or go on mandatory large events with a ton of strangers. So generally working online is super introvert friendly. I would say almost too introvert friendly. You might even find yourself after a little bit of human contact after you've been home alone for like 3 days. Hey, my name is Dea, freelancer, digital business manager, most recently an entrepreneur. And as always, you can find sections on the play bar below if you want to skip to a certain part of the video. Your time is precious, so take what you need. And if you want to watch this on 2x, I will not be offended in the least. Okay, let's dive into the video. Business idea number 1 is content writing or becoming a copywriter. If you know how to write great copy, becoming a content writer or copywriter can be an excellent career move, especially if you are an introvert. And the best part is you really don't need any formal education while you can still make a really good amount of money as a content or copywriter. Now, in terms of job titles, as a content writer, you'll mainly be focusing on content. So writing engaging, informative content such as social media captions, blog posts, email newsletters, video scripts, like this one. On the other hand, a copywriter writes mainly sales copy, so things like sales pages, landing pages, email funnels, ads, things that have more of a conversion focus and sales psychology mixed into it. With that being said, you do need some skills if you want to succeed as a freelance writer, such as impeccable grammar and language skills, the ability to research various topics and how to find valid, trustworthy sources, a basic understanding of how content or copy can help businesses grow. Now, finding clients can be a little intimidating, especially when you're just starting. Luckily, there are many different ways you can find your first client: social media, networking, online, so that it's not so intimidating, cold pitching, freelance job platforms, so many different ways. For me personally, I didn't really know much about any of the other ways to land clients when I first started freelancing, so I started on one of the most popular freelancing platforms, Upwork. You can create a freelance profile and start applying for various jobs there if you'd like. I have a lot of feelings about Upwork now, but I think it's a really good place, honestly, to get started with if you are not steeped in the online business world yet and you want to validate your services quickly before branching out to other methods of client acquisition that might make more sense and be more sustainable. Other great resources you can use to find clients are Indeed, FlexJobs, ProBlogger. I'll link everything below. And of course, I always suggest you go where your clients spend time online. This means going to Facebook groups where people would be looking for that kind of help, forums, websites where your ideal client might be hanging out. Start going to these places consistently and provide value. I have a whole video on my Facebook group strategy of how I engage and land clients as a freelancer in Facebook groups that I will link in the top right corner as well. The next idea I have for you is to become an editor. So as a freelance editor, essentially what you do is you read, review, and correct writing for various clients, right? So from content to structure to grammar, as an editor, you work on different aspects of a written piece of work and you really just try to perfect it for publication. The most commonly needed service is copy editing, which means you focus more on the mechanics of the text, so checking grammar, fixing sentence structure, reviewing word choice, that kind of stuff. You'll often work as a contractor, normally on a project-by-project basis. And as an editor, whether copy editing or proofreading, you'll need some specific skills such as excellent knowledge of the rules related to grammar, punctuation, spelling, syntax, citation formats, capitalization, anything relevant for this piece of content, the ability to be meticulous in your work, paying close attention to detail, and perhaps also research skills related to checking facts, dates, spelling of names, quotes, making sure everything is up to snuff. If you feel this is for you, your best bet is to get editing jobs, whether that is as a contractor or employee. It's pretty similar to writing jobs, but without so much the pitching. There are a lot of resources available to find freelance editing jobs besides Upwork, Freelancer, Fiverr, what's the other? People per hour. You can also find great opportunities on Indeed, on ZipRecruiter, on media sites like Media Bistro and journalism jobs. I'll link everything. Another way is to go through publishing firms, so contracting with a company or with an agency that helps authors publish books can help you get a steady income without the hustle of chasing clients yourself. And I have a whole video on whether you should join an agency as a freelancer that I will also link. Lastly, if you don't mind paying for an annual membership, ACES, the Society for Editing, is also a good option. For $75 a year, you can join this organization for editors, which comes with many perks, including access to a job bank of high-quality jobs and projects. Business idea number 3 is for those of you who are passionate about design. So as a graphic designer, you will work on anything from logo creation to web design and 3D illustrations. You can kind of pick your specializations. Now, while a degree isn't required, having the expertise and software necessary to compete with other freelance graphic designers is essential. And because graphic design is so visual, you need a design portfolio to market your freelance services to be like, hey, I know what I'm doing. Check out all this other cool stuff that I've made before. Now, the great news about becoming a graphic designer is that all the information you need for learning graphic design is truly at your fingertips. You will find tons of high quality tutorials, lessons for free, or at a small price on websites like Udemy, YouTube, Skillshare, Coursera, all that good stuff. Other skills you might need are the ability to understand what a client is going for in their graphic design project and what they hope the final draft will look like, so a lot of communication. Mastering certain softwares, whatever is relevant, such as Adobe Photoshop, Illustrator, InDesign, a thorough understanding of color theory, knowing how colors complement and contrast with each other, and lots of other things that you will learn in the trainings that you take if you want to go down this path. Another great option for introverts is to become a virtual assistant, also known as a VA. Virtual assistants, I feel like, are currently booming right now. A virtual assistant is kind of a general assistant in a virtual setting. Gives support to other businesses from a remote location. VAs are really high in demand right now by entrepreneurs and online businesses that do need help but don't want to bring on a full-on staff member, like full-time in a specific location. So if you're wondering what a virtual assistant does, a simpler question would be what a virtual assistant doesn't do. So some popular services that a VA can offer are calendar and email management, social media management, bookkeeping, data entry, customer service support, really anything. And the great thing about working as a VA is you can really customize the types of services that you want to offer for the types of clients that you want to work with, essentially. So you can really pick and choose. And you definitely don't need a degree to get started. You are more than likely to already have some skills that you can utilize to become a virtual assistant, or any other skills you can kind of just learn as you go if you are a good Googler. As a virtual assistant, you can work for an agency or you can decide to work for yourself. The best way to start is by, similar to what I said before, you can announce your new business on your social media profiles. You'd also be surprised who your friends and family may know that are in need of your services, so reach out to them and just let them know that that's what you're doing. Another way to find clients is by contacting small businesses locally. There are also tons of job postings on sites such as Upwork and Indeed. Look for opportunities everywhere when launching your business. You can also join Facebook groups like I mentioned earlier where clients might be hanging out and start offering a little bit of value already. And make sure to set up your profile for optimal success when somebody checks out your profile out of curiosity, that they can see information on how to book a free call with you to chat about what they need, and potentially that will then lead them into becoming a client for you. Find clients, I know, can be a little bit daunting at first, but it will get easier with practice, I promise. It'll also get easier as more people are aware of you, as they start to tell each other about how awesome you are and your amazing skill set. As you begin to build your portfolio and your testimonials, everything will get easier, so just focus on how to get that first client to validate that freelance business idea. The last business idea I'm super biased to, because this is what I did as a freelancer, is digital business management. That is what I did as a freelancer for essentially 5 years. So digital business managers are kind of the right hands for CEOs, entrepreneurs, founders of online businesses. As a DBM, you normally offer 3 things: project management, team management, and systems management services. And the good news is really anyone can learn these skills, right? Nobody was really born a manager, so you can really pick up these skills, put in the practice, and grow slowly into this role. Other skills you may need to step into a DBM role are the ability to get stuff done, really be somebody who likes to close loops and see the bigger picture and see kind of how the bigger picture boils down into smaller tasks. Being capable of delegating, communicating, and taking responsibility for a virtual team and loving on them. and a love for working with systems and procedures to get things done in the most efficient and consistent way. General knowledge of online marketing systems and software, the ability to look over multiple projects with different timelines and expectations. Those are all things that you can learn, you can practice, you can create that skill set for yourself. The best way to find a job as a digital business manager is quite similar to everything I've already mentioned, right? Start by, you can let people know that this is what you're doing, talk to your family and friends, go where your ideal clients are hanging out, you can do cold pitching, you can apply to jobs, you can check out websites like LinkedIn, Upwork, Indeed, you can reach out to past clients that you've worked with and just let them know that this is the new level, the higher level of service that you're offering if they would be interested, and offer a referral percentage for anybody that they know that they might be able to refer you to. Now, as an introvert myself, I remember worrying that I could never be comfortable sending out cold pitches or even networking to find clients. It's just also not really my favorite thing. So I thought we could end this video by sharing a few tips to help you succeed in the freelance business world. Now, the first thing is definitely cheesy advice is to practice. And I know it's not fun when you first start, but this cheesy advice really applies. The best way to combat your discomfort is by taking little steps. The more you practice, the more familiar things will get, which will help ease stress and calm nerves. When I first started freelancing, I applied to every single gig that remotely sounded interesting to me just so I could get practice with applying, talking about my services, with interviewing. It also really helped develop my confidence. So the first time I talked to a client, I was like, my hourly rate is $10 an hour? And after like 20 to 30 calls, I had it down pat and was like, my rates range from $40 to $50 an hour, depending on the scope and type of work. I'll be able to give you a better estimate once I hear a little bit more about what you're looking for and how I may be able to best support you. Can you tell me a little bit about, memorized basically, all because I just kept applying and I kept going on interviews, even for jobs where I was like, I'm not sure 100% that I would want to take this job. I still went to the interview so I could practice on those lower risk jobs so that I was more prepared for those dream roles that came along. Tip 2 is, so yes, social media is a great way to advertise yourself and land clients, but I personally, this is my controversial opinion, I don't think you need to be on social media to be successful as a freelancer at all. So if you're worried that you have to be on Instagram or Facebook or Twitter or TikTok to be a freelancer, please don't let that hold you back from becoming a freelancer. There are other ways of finding clients. I'm generally not a huge fan of being on social media. I do it now a little bit as a business owner, but I did not do it at all as a freelancer. As a freelancer, I was not on Instagram, I was not on Facebook, I had a LinkedIn profile set up, but I wasn't doing anything really there. I wasn't networking or anything. So tip 2 is do not let this requirement of, I have to be on social media hold you back from starting to freelance. Just come into it with more of a problem-solving mindset of what am I willing to do? What are ways of finding clients that feel good to me, that I'm excited about? And be ready to find those solutions that do work for you and how you would like to operate on a day-to-day basis. Tip 3 is learn to manage your energy. If you notice that certain client or team calls drain your energy more so than other tasks that you do, try to space them out so they're not all in one day. So this is something that I had to do a lot, is like what I would track my energy levels. Like I would track, okay, this type of task, how much energy is this high energy, medium energy, low energy task? And I would try to spread those out across my week, because in the beginning, I tried to put all of my calls always on the same day so that I would have them over with all at once. But I found that even after just like 1 or 2 calls, I was kind of just done for the day. So manage your energy. Figure out what is draining you the most and try to space them out or put them in a way where, you don't feel super depleted by the end of the day. So, introverts assemble. If you're an introvert, tell me your favorite way to recharge in the comments, because I'm nosy and I want to know. My favorite way is to read on the couch in absolute silence and have no plans on my calendar for the day. And as always, thanks so much for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. Okay, bye!